Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amy Hoppy. Welcome to the Checkers Plant Kitchen, powered by Simple Truth. I'm so excited to introduce Tamsin Snyman to you. She is an incredible foodie, creative, food writer, publisher, has been on the most incredible journey, which we're going to talk about in a second. She's also the founder and owner of Plant-Based Creative and has a stand just down this little pathway here. So do make sure you go and visit her after our show. Tamsin, tell me first of all, what are we making today?
Lovely to see you, Amy. Thank you for hosting us and making us feel a lot more relaxed. Thanks to the audience for breaking away from all that goodness and creeping over here. When they said to me a half an hour, I'm like, I don't do anything in half an hour. I run my entire life in half an hour. So this is honestly, we're just going to drag it out. No, I'm kidding. That's why I'm doing two dishes today. They do actually complement each other in a strange way, even though the date and apple flapjacks are for breakfast, and I'm doing this cinnamon roasted pumpkin with Amma's vegan butter.
Lovely.
And that's something you'd probably have in the evening, that you'd have on couscous or a beautiful grain and brown rice. You can mix it into something delicious. But I'm going to show you a cheat of how I'm going to work that mixture back into your flapjacks, and then we're going to make pumpkin fritters.
Amazing.
Just saying.
Also such a nice way to use leftover veggies the next morning. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
So we're going to start with the flapjacks, right?
We're going to start with the flapjacks. So what I'm actually going to show you in this recipe is this is the mix. So the recipe tells you to make kilos of it, because this is what you want to keep in your cupboard, and then you just take from the dry mix, and then you're mixing the wet ingredients as and when you need to. So it's just myself and my daughter. She's 12. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I just want 3 or 4 flapjacks as she's screaming out the house. I just mix it up with the chia seeds and the water, and that together makes this beautiful egg replacement. Super healthy, of course, as well. So we're taking out the eggs and we're doing chia seeds with water, and normally the ratio is 1 tablespoon of chia seeds to about 2.5 tablespoons of water. So your first step with the, let's move that away. The first step is just to gently let those soak into the water. So super high in protein for all of us who are moving over to a more plant-based world. We try and find protein wherever we can.
Absolutely, and from different sources, right?
Absolutely.
It's important to get the different sources of proteins in.
Don't just stick to a plant protein powder. Use the seeds and grains that are kind of ancient. So that's all in there. So that's your chia seed. That's your egg, really. In that little bowl is your egg. So that's your egg replacement. Grated apple, and just use the whole apple. I actually use the pips and everything because I'm a bit of a juicer. So in the mornings I'll juice the apple, I'll use the seeds, the pip, everything goes into it.
It's a bit of a waste, not look on life, and I love that.
Fiber.
Tamsin, tell us a little bit more about how you got to this point in your sort of health and food journey, turning plant-based and all of that.
So my background is I started restaurant reviewing when I was 13. My mom was a well-known food writer, Lannice Snyman. You might have some of her cookbooks. So I kind of followed in her footsteps and continued the food names. So my world of food is actually pure gluttony. And I think I reached a point in my life where, can I rinse off somewhere?
Here we go.
Grab a cloth. When I actually, it's quite a crazy backstory. I reached a point where I needed to actually clean up my diet. I had a breast cancer diagnosis just before lockdown, and then lockdown hit, and I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with all this time? And I checked myself into a Life Shine wellness clinic in Somerset West, and for 3 months, I learned all about how to explore and celebrate vegetables. So that's climbed into my life, and the animal proteins have moved away. And I work very closely with my oncologists, dietitians, nutritionists, as well as my oncologist, and my blood work is squeaky clean, so I can only say that I'm super happy to be in this place. So we're going to mix all the dry ingredients together. So you've got a stone ground flour, and you've got baking powder, and you've got salt and a bit of bicarb. So for those of you who are gluten intolerant, there's quite a lot of you.
I'm allergic to wheat, for example.
Yep, there we go. My entire range, Plant-Based Creative, is completely gluten-free. It makes it so much easier. You need to look for, most importantly, there's a lot of, obviously, gluten-free flour. It's available everywhere. I get mine through Yellow Submarine because I bake a lot with gluten-free flour. And don't forget, if you're going to substitute your flour for gluten-free, don't forget your baking powder. 90% of it's got gluten in it. If you're celiac, that will be a problem. So I use 2 brands. Funny enough, I found this at Woolies, which was great. But I also use the Good Life. Good Life do a gluten-free. So I use that in my baking, in my range. I'm not gluten intolerant. I don't enjoy it in my life. It just doesn't make me feel great. So there you've got all the dry ingredients.
So how much flour did we have in there to start, just to check?
I think, let me check my recipe. 150 grams is all we're going to use for the recipe, but I'm telling you to make 600 grams because you're going to put it in your cupboard and you're going to dip into it as and when you need to.
Right.
So that's all your dry ingredients. Into here, we've now got our egg, we've got our milk, and I'm using Alpro's oat milk.
Okay.
You can use regular milk if you're still doing the dairy thing. You can use macadamia milk from Butternut outside, beautiful.
Beautiful, rich milk.
So you've got a cup of milk happening over there, and then you're going to whisk your chia eggs in. See what's happened? Oh, there. It's quite gelatinous, and you can see it's got like a weird egg consistency. It's super cool.
You can also do flax seeds as well as an example, right? If you don't have chia
flax
seeds at home.
seeds is perfect. So that's for you.
So can I whisk that for you?
You can whisk
Give me a little,
that for me.
a little job. I'm always
Absolutely.
whisking on set today.
And we're going to use a bit of coconut sugar. So I also don't use any refined sugar in any of my range or at home. I've switched over to coconut blossom sugar. It's obviously unrefined. It is a sugar, so let's not kid ourselves, but it's super clean. So that's going into the dry mix.
Lovely.
A couple of tablespoons of that. And this is just to give you an idea of how beautiful and dark and rich, and I actually am going to be using that for the roast pumpkin later because it really makes a nice caramel effect, because remember, you're losing your original butter that gives you the caramel. You're trying to find caramel with butter. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got a bit of vanilla essence going in there.
Lovely.
Oh my gosh, that's divine. That should be vanilla essence, but I think it is maple syrup. So I'm going to show you how. That doesn't matter that that's gone in, but that is our garnish. So that's our topping. Then don't forget cinnamon. You can add your own spices. I often use nutmeg in this, depending on what you like. I also love cardamom, but not everybody likes cardamom. So a bit of cinnamon in your dry mix. Okay, so you've got all of that. Then our dates, again, is our sugar replacement. If you don't do what I did and threw in the maple syrup. But our sweetness is a little bit of coconut sugar, and that's going to be thrown in there, your dates. And that gives you lots of texture, and it gives you a chewy flapjack. I'm not going to give you today light, pillowy flapjacks. I'm giving you something to start your day, and you'll only get hungry at 2 o'clock. Okay, that's my mission. Okay, lastly, we're just going to stir through our beautiful grated apple, which also adds a bit of roughage, a bit of fiber, and obviously
beautiful
lovely natural flavors. And we all need to creep in more fruit into our diets. So we'll clean up my
an apple a day. Here we go.
Alrighty, apple a day, and that's mine goes into a flapjack. Okay, great. So once that's all mixed together, it looks like an amazing, weird, sloppy mess. I'm just going to fold this through.
Okay.
And then this is going to be your dry mix into your gooey, delicious, golden date kind of caramelly base. Okay. So remember, we've only used a little bit of this, so you can just add your chia eggs. I'm making your batter now. You just fold through the dry ingredients, and that baby is going to plop into a pan.
Really coming together now, beautifully.
Okay, so, and yeah, any milk alternative that you like, you just go for your favorite. Don't go and specifically buy an ingredient that you might never use again. Sorry, I'm not that type of cook. My kitchen's only that big. Okay, so I'm going to pop that aside for a moment while I quickly show you what I'm going to do over here. So this, I must just mention that the recipes I'm doing now, my background's 25 years of cookbook publishing. And now that I've become plant-based, I'm dipping into all our old favorite family cookbooks, and I'll show you. I'm not going to reinvent a new recipe at my age. I'm going back to all my old favorite cookbooks, and I'm finding in here you'll find the pumpkin roasted butternut. My mom wrote this book and I produced it with her. It was a wonderful journey. All the most favorite South African recipes from all over the country.
Amazing.
And then one of my favorite chefs and a fellow Houtbanian, we all live together in Hout Bay, as does Bo and Shirley. This is Simply Good Food by Justine Drake. Delicious cookbook. We're backed by the Discovery Health, so we worked with dietitians and nutritionists. And of course, what I'm doing is I'm dipping into the books from yesteryear. I'm hate the word, but I'm veganizing them, if you know what I mean? Taking out the dairy, switching out for delicious alternatives. And then what I'm doing is I'm dumping those recipes on my website. So plantbasedcreative.com, that's where they're all landing. As in when I have 5 minutes in my life to edit the recipes, test them again, obviously, because they all work differently when you've tested them again. So we don't need these guys, but we can do with that beautiful apple. So pumpkins, I mean, we hardly use enough of this. Absolutely divine, everywhere, and super, super affordable. I like to keep them nice and big like this. We've pre-prepared some for you, but in nice chunks, so you can try them. But I literally do nice, long slivers like this of the pumpkin. And I'll tell you why. Because when that pops out of the oven, that's like a steak. That goes on top of your favorite grain or alongside a braai mushroom kebab. So those sorts of things is why I like to keep things really big in like that.
And then they hold their shape as well.
Absolutely.
They don't get too soft.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
And don't cook them too skinny because then they're going to become completely mush. We want to throw them in a roasting dish. So can I do that in here?
Yeah, you're welcome to.
Okay. So you can just use a regular roasting dish. And then what we do is, that's our garnish for our flapjacks just now. And then you just pop these in here. We're doing like a mini version of this, but you can use an entire pumpkin. We've got, that's what I'm going to cook with. Today I'm using Clement Golds, these beautiful citrus. Obviously choose your own citrus, don't go for lemon. But you've got a beautiful citrus that's going to become your sauce. And we've got some coconut sugar here.
Beautiful.
And that is going to go gorgeously later when it starts to caramelize. And my favorite butter, at the moment, I'm loving using Amma's Creamery. They're also here on the show. And we use it in our gluten-free chocolate chip cookies when we're baking. So this butter is perfect for baking. Some of the butters just don't work. So we've tried them all. So this one is gorgeous to make. I'm just using my fingers because you absolutely have to while you're cooking. And you dot that all gorgeously. So what I'm going to tell you on this recipe, okay, so there's your butter. Most importantly, lots of cinnamon. You can just literally do that. You can whack salt and pepper on top of that, but this time I'm not because I'm going to show you a trick. But that's going to pop into the oven, please, Amy. It looks quite gorgeous. Probably should be in a smaller dish so that you retain all that sticky gorgeousness. And then we're just going to fry some of these pumpkin fritters for you guys.
And can I take out our ready-made?
Oh, voila.
Voila! How did that cook so fast?
So fast. It's magic. Okay, let's get this baby
What I love
on.
so much about this combination is it's really those beautiful winter flavors, right? It just feels so warm with the cinnamon and the coconut.
Yeah.
And, beautiful.
And it's that time of year, so let's not pretend that we don't all want
we
a
all like
pumpkin
a bit of
something.
comfort food.
Great. So here's your non-stick pan. We're using a splash of Be Well canola oil. You can, of course, use coconut butter. A little bit of coconut oil is always lovely. Just don't heat it too high. Olive oil is fine, but it's a breakfast dish, so maybe not olive oil. Okay, and I'm going to do a little drizzle. I'm going to try not to hoy this all in here. I'm going to use a
Can
bit
we
of...
pour it into a little bowl?
Here we go. We make a plan. Because I know I've done this before, and then you end up with heaps. Okay. So a little, and honestly, not much. If you're using a stick-free pan, you actually shouldn't even really need, if it's a great pan. So we are going to dollop a little bit of this guy into here.
Oh, that mixture's really thickened up beautifully.
It has. It's really good. I mean, this will make lots, but we are showing you the cheats version. Let your pan heat a little bit. I think we've made them a bit smaller for you guys, but I'm just showing you a regular-sized flapjack. And you can see the sticky dates inside, which is super divine.
Beautiful.
And we're not looking for perfection. That went out the window before COVID. So
I think the more rustic, the better, right?
Absolutely,
That's what we love. It looks organic. It's beautiful.
We're going to let those fry nicely. So here's my trick. I'm going to quickly tell you what to do with the pumpkin, or you can use butternut. I'm going to mash that. And then I'm going to add the mashed butternut, a pumpkin, whatever you prefer to do, with a splash of oat or almond milk, and then you're going to use your premix. And you're going to make a thick batter, and you're going to dollop it and make pumpkin fritters.
Divine.
Or butternut fritters. And the little backstory behind that, which I'm sure you'll have a good laugh about, is I actually went with my dad back in 2000 and represented South Africa in the World Barbecue Championships. Yes.
Such a cute memory.
And we had to do 5 dishes over the fire, 45-minute intervals, 2 minutes on either side. You were disqualified if you didn't bring your dish to the judges. I did pumpkin fritters because, I mean, why not? With amarula whipped
Such a
cream.
South African thing as well,
Ice
right?
cold cream, whip it, stir through the amarula, dollop these pumpkin fritters into a potjie. Obviously, we took our potjies with us. We took boxes of doringhout across. Didn't get into trouble in those days. Now you'd probably be in DT for that. This out of 79 teams all over the world, my pumpkin fritters came number 14.
Incredible.
So I was super excited. I normally use a super flat dish. You know, these ones are awful. Sorry. But you want something super thin so that you can get under. Okay. And we've cooked some of these for you guys in the back so you can try. Oh.
We've got some samples. Actually, they're going to come out now.
Oh, yay.
So you guys can have a bit of a taste. Just take one of the little cups
Oh,
and
wow,
spoons
okay.
and enjoy.
It's happening. Yeah. I normally let the mixture rest a little bit in the fridge so it stiffens a bit, hardens. But yeah, you've now got pumpkin fritters for dinner or for when you have guests around, you're having a braai. You've got your morning flapjacks and you've got your roasted pumpkin, which can go on quinoa. Brown rice is delicious. Or even whiz it into a beautiful vegetable stock and you've got a stunning pumpkin soup.
Amazing.
Oh, but versatile. Oh, these babies are super soft.
I'll bring a little plate over that we can put those on in a minute. Here we go.
Thank you. Oh, they're getting better. It's that first pancake in the pan problem.
I know, right? It's always like,
It's
that's
always
the taste
just-
of pancake vibe.
that's
You just
for
keep that
us.
aside.
Absolutely.
Mostly for the chefs to taste in the kitchen.
Exactly.
And what do you guys think? You trying some? Yeah? Good?
Cool. If you're cooking for a crowd, what I normally do is if you're doing a platter and you're not literally munching them on the way to school out of the pan, do a beautiful big platter of them, lay them lots of berries, some coconut yogurt, I think we're using Yokos today, some blueberries, and a little drizzle of the maple syrup that I tossed in earlier.
We've got a tiny bit left in here. We'll definitely be able to do a little drizzle over.
Absolutely. I'm going to show you some crinkly little cute ones. Oh, these guys have got a lot of character, guys.
They're really rustic, organic little flapjacks. Our
COVID.
first batch.
COVID crumpets. We're going to do another one. We're going to do a few more. But I just want you guys to taste this anyway. So that's why we're not looking for perfection. And
Where's our mixture?
Yeah.
Oh.
So what I often do is
there it
I pack these into my daughter's lunchbox. She eats them cold at school because they actually become nice and chewy. Because they've got the dates inside and obviously the apple for the lift. So we're going to do a little bit more in here. Cool. And then we can just show you a quick plating fun vibe. Obviously you can actually take the dry mix and leave a jar in your office cupboard. Then keep a little jar of chia seeds on the side. Everyone's always got oat milk somewhere in the office, right? You can steal some of that. Take your apple, grate it, stir it all through, and then you've got something at the office. So keep this at the office. Or you can go camping, Ziploc bag, take your chia
super
seeds.
easy. And I see these are starting to form little bubbles quite quickly now.
Yes, we've got a different heat going on,
Yes.
so we're playing nicely. It's always fun and challenging to work in a kitchen that's not yours.
Exactly, live cooking, everyone. We've got to have those
Yeah.
little rustic little flapjack guys over there.
We do
Beautiful
travel with our
though.
knives, but we don't travel with our skinny egg flips, which are like the best things in the world.
And you were saying the toppings, we've got our beautiful strawberries,
Yes.
blueberries,
Yeah.
our lovely coconut yogurt, but we could also even do like some caramelized bits of citrus or something.
Absolutely. You can even slice bananas, pop them on top of the uncooked side. Then when you flip them over, the bananas caramelize,
Oh,
and then you've got a
beautiful.
super pimped, like fruity type start to the day. But yeah, you can do all sorts of things. It's
Because we do
super-
already have the apples in there, so we do have
Yeah.
that fruit flavor.
You've got
and
the fruit
dates as
flavor,
well.
you've got the dates, which is very high in fiber. Try and look for sulfur-free dates. And yeah, I think Yeah, we use dates really as one of our sweeteners in a lot of our products. So we've moved completely away from refined sugars. Coconut blossom sugar and dates, that's my go-to. And a little date trick I'll tell you. I'm a bit of a coffee girl, and I like a pimped coffee in the mornings. So I heat a bit of oat milk, I do a French press coffee, take my small cup NutriBullet, throw the hot coffee, the hot oat milk, 2 dates, a teaspoon, heaped teaspoons of maca root powder, and raw cacao.
Wow.
And then you blitz it in the NutriBullet. Oh my word.
That sounds delicious.
You need a tall glass thing because it
also
looks
like
so glamorous.
So many good nutrients in there with the cacao as well, giving that energy boost for the day.
Completely
Wonderful.
sustainable till 2, 3 o'clock. I won't need anything. So that's my kind of bulletproof coffee. If you want a bit of MCT oil, you can add that. Even Amma's, if you like the bulletproof coffee, you just throw in some of Amma's butter, and then you've got all your omegas for the day. So that's a super cool little tip.
Incredible.
Alrighty,
So
these
those
guys
are
are
bubbling
puffing
away
up
quite
beautifully.
nicely.
See, I'm talking and these guys are burning.
Oh, see, I'm distracting you too much now.
Okay, we'll show you the good side.
But you guys have had some
Did you smell
samples.
You need to, where's the fire brigade? Okay, well, we now know what they mustn't look like while I jabber, and we're going to do another one. Yeah, so lots to share with you guys, and obviously please do come and talk to me on my stand. I'm here till 5. I've been here all
your stand
weekend.
is?
612.
612. It's literally just
Yeah.
down this pathway. So when you exit, you can go have a lovely chat to Tamsin.
Yeah.
Ask any questions about the beautiful food range that
Come
she has
talk
over
to me
here.
about my cookbooks.
And so I just put I brought some of the ingredients up. If you guys want to come have a look, we've got the almond granola, which sounds amazing. Orange and almond granola,
Orange,
delicious.
we actually infused the gluten-free oats in freshly squeezed Clement Gold, oranges, or
beautiful.
nachis. Oranges aren't always in season, so we go for a different citrus, different times of the year. But that is, yeah, you'll actually taste that flavor.
And here you've got some of your cashew nut chocolate
So
mousse.
this is our bestseller, and at the base is actually the granola. So there's that orangey granola, and then we've got the chocolate mousse we make with vegan, 70% vegan chocolate, and we melt that down into toasted cashew nuts that we soak overnight, and then we blitz with a little bit of coconut milk. Then that makes the most beautiful mousse. That on its own is a recipe, guys.
Beautiful.
And then the top, date caramel. So we blitz dates, we hot water, dates, a little bit of vanilla extract, and that's your date caramel.
Okay, so I do have a little bit of a prize to give away while Tamsin's finishing off our flapjacks over there. So we've got Le Creuset, one of our sponsors here today, a stunning set of 4 beautiful little mini croquettes here. So starting to use in the oven, desserts, savory dishes, and I'm giving this away to the first person who can tell me, if you've been paying attention to what Tamsin's been saying, she uses 2 things as sweeteners in her cooking. What are those? Yes, congratulations. Enjoy. Oh. There you go. Don't worry, it won't be the last prize I'm giving away today. We do have a show every hour on the hour happening, and we will be giving away some beautiful goodies later on, so do make sure that you come back and enjoy. Woo, a little bit of microphone interference. But I think we're close to wrapping up now.
we
So,
are.
Tamsin, I just wanted to say thank you so much. If anyone wants to come up and ask a question, maybe take a look
Absolutely.
at some of the ingredients, the beautiful pumpkin that we over here,
Yes.
please come up and join us. But thank you so much, Tamsin. This has been wonderful.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming. Please come visit me on my stand. Got lots of goodies there.